Joining me in the studio is our public affairs analyst, Ziggy Ibe. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, let's get your reaction to the immediate evacuation call by the president.
It's quite unfortunate that South Africans who are supposed to appreciate what we've done for them are turning back at us. That is quite unfortunate. Like the president of the country said, as Cyril, I hope he does something very quickly. Otherwise, this will not speak well of his country. If his people are taught that they can stay alone, they can do things alone, no country survives in the absence of other countries' input. No country survives that way. The South Africans should know that the economy grew now because they have input from other countries, and that's why they are where they are today. So for them to have thought that they can live alone in exclusion of other countries' nationals, that is a fat lie, and I hope they have a rethink. Coming down to Nigeria here, our government is putting so many measures in place to bring back those who are willing to come back. It's a big opportunity for them, for those who have not been doing something, or for those who have been caught up in this melee, should find a way to come back home and continue their struggle for survival. That is just the only way they could keep on
so
with their life.
You think that the government's intention of including them into the social intervention program is a step in the good direction?
Oh, sure. That's the only way they could start their life or continue their living, because some of them had lost all they had worked for in their lives, and as such, what that means is that they're coming back home, they are coming empty, without nothing. So coming back home to really open up an opportunity for them to live their life again is a welcome development, a good integration into the system.
But what are the chances that the social intervention program will be such that will be sustainable for them, so that they won't be tempted to return to either South Africa or any other country?
You must know that such a number of individuals coming back home would constitute security risk if they were not integrated into the society and we're giving them something to do. They must find something for them to do in order to engage them. When they're engaged, their mind will be put off from criminalities, because we're having huge in our hand already. So what that means is that when they come and they're engaged, reintegrate them into the society, they would they kind of forget their past and they continue their living. They might not be put in that full fulfillment, okay, but something that could fetch their at least a meal in a day, because the major primary of anybody living is to feed first, then an accommodation. Okay, if the government is saying, okay, we are putting some measures, something that could cushion the effect of their suffering, I mean, for the moment, that is a nice one. And the 740 individuals 640 individuals are not one person. So it's huge number of people who are coming back, just like we have them come back from Libya some time ago.
Absolutely. Now that brings to mind the issues of the protection or the security of lives and properties of Nigerians outside, not just in South Africa, but in other countries. Nigerians are worried in terms of, you talked about how Nigeria intervened in the issues of apartheid in South Africa, yet these issues, we are part of several organizations.
They've forgotten about that.
Are faced with these challenges.
Yeah, they've forgotten about the help rendered by this country to them. That is quite unfortunate. We are not looking at that again. We had moved on away from the suffering Nigerians are going through now, and the next stage is now to bring them back home to continue their life. And that is the best the government could do, to intervene in their suffering.
All right, just to hold your thought, we have a former presidential candidate, Kabiru Shitu, joining us now to talk more on this. Now, let's look at the angle of SERAP asking the African Commission to, you know, make South Africa pay these victims of the xenophobic attacks $10 billion. How much is this a step in the right direction, and how much impact will this make in all of these issues?
For us, we believe that asking for compensation, especially of fund from South Africa, is not the right way to go. We should not monetize everything about our life. We should know that, first of all, as a country, we have this mind of big brother. And that is why our foreign policy was based on Afrocentric, in order to be able to carry other Africans along with us. At this moment, what they need is, we must, first of all, as leaders, investigate why do they carry out these nefarious acts on us. And secondly, why do they avenge all this on us as a leader? They see us as a leader.
If I may cut in, Kabiru, it seems those questions have been answered. The same Nigerians come to take the jobs. And so this is why they want them out of the country. Now, is this an issue of the failure of the system not providing what the people need? This is just, perhaps there are other underlying issues that we are not seeing?
There are underlying issues that we are not seeing as our people. We provide leadership. They saw us as like you having your child and you father him. To some extent, he finished school and he's sitting at home, he's not having any work. He will start venting his anger on you. They see us as a leader. We provide that leadership. We give them political independence without looking at them, their economic independence. We don't, as a leader, what do we do? After liberating people, we just leave them and continue with our life. This is time that government must now involve, and that's why I'm saying, call all African leaders to Nigeria. Let us first of all look at what makes them to avenge angers on us. If they are well employed, if they have economic power, would they bother about any citizen coming to their country? The answer is no. We should not look at the bad side of everything. We should not look at monetary side of everything. We should start looking at solving problems. And that is why we must start looking inward.
But isn't this what the AU is supposed to be doing, to, you know, check these issues amongst the African countries which are under it?
That is why we are leader in AU. Today we are the populous nation, we are the richest in Africa, and we have the big heart, which we have liberated half of African out of tracks of the white men during the civilian, during the colonial rule. So they still see us as father, but we are now behaving as child. We are not. We are their father, and we are the. When you talk of African Union, who are the African Union? Who finances African Union? They look up to us. When there was coup in Sao Tome and Principe, the president ran to Nigeria. Nigeria took him back. Which country have ever done that? When there's problem in Liberia, the Babangida administration ran there. We were able to bring peace back to Liberia. Now we are faced again with South Africa. It is time for us to look at our foreign policy vis-a-vis our own belief, and be able to now look at how we solve their problem for them. Because if you solve their problem for them, then your citizen will not be venged upon.
All right, thank you so much, former presidential candidate Kabiru Shutu. Thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast. All right, Ziggy, before we let you go now, from what he has said, we need to invite other African leaders as well as that of South Africa to come to Nigeria.
I like where you interjected. We've gone past the responses of other people. And I'm worried about EU silence about all this. But if you are talking about monetary compensation, I think if a particular country is wronged and we are looking at the damages they've caused on the nationals of that country, it is quite good and obvious that if any country had gone wrong on the treatment meted out to other nationals resident in their country,
there should be compensation.
Yeah, there should be compensation. That should not be overlooked. EU should come out strongly on this and make their stand known, because each member countries have their own contribution in the cities and the countries where they reside. Okay, so that is shouldn't be overlooked.
We have to leave it here now, Zigibe. Thank you for your time on
Thank you
Breakfast.
for having me.
All right.